Hi, I'm Sam Tilley from OMRON Electronics. I'm the Regional General Manager here at UK, Ireland and across the Nordic region. I'm joined here today by Andy, who we partner with from WorldSkills UK. OMRON is an automation business. We manufacture products into manufacturing sectors, various sectors, food and automotive. Here today, with Andy, we're here to talk about the importance of apprenticeships and really inspiring the next generation. And over the last months and years, we've been collaborating with WorldSkills UK because we both share that belief about the importance of giving back and inspiring the next generation.
Thank you, Sam. As Sam says, I'm Andy Knight, the Corporate Partnership Manager from WorldSkills UK. We're part of a world-class network systems, as the name suggests. We're focused on raising standards, empowering young people for whatever backgrounds are, and champion future skills. And we do this through our regional competitions, which we just finished, our national, which is in Manchester from the 19th to the 22nd, and also the WorldSkills, where our Team UK goes and compete, and that's in September this year in Lyon in France. So I must say thanks ever so much for being a partner of WorldSkills UK. It's only by companies such as yourself taking part in WorldSkills UK and being our partner that we're able to put these regional, national and then Team UK going to being part of the competition in the future at WorldSkills in Lyon in September. I just wonder if we can ask you some questions, we can explore some questions going through this as this is in why, and maybe some of your background, your story as well with apprenticeship, because I know you were an apprentice yourself. So it'd be interesting to see some of those things that your apprenticeship coming from. What did your apprenticeship journey look like, and how did it lead to your current role in OMRON?
Okay. So I grew up and I still live in a small Somerset town. I guess when I was coming to kind of 14, 15, I didn't necessarily want to go into continuing full-time education, I guess was the starting point. And fortunately, where I live, there's a large helicopter manufacturer, and they offer a wide range of apprenticeships, and there's also a number of feeding companies off that. So it's quite a well-respected, well-known kind of path locally, the apprenticeship route. And it really grabbed me, and I went through quite a stringent kind of process to get into it, and it's quite a well-respected local kind of opportunity. And so from there, I left school at 16. I started a 4-year apprenticeship in mechanical engineering. It was a technical apprenticeship, so it was more aimed at kind of both more office-related roles as well as kind of hands-on roles. But the first year was fully hands-on. So the first year was a full-time college education, learning basic skills, milling, turning, welding, and then complemented by a day release in college, learning kind of the kind of academic stuff alongside of it. And the apprenticeship for me was fantastic in terms of learning the skills, but also I felt really comfortable in that environment. I'm from kind of more quite a sporting background, if you like, and that kind of collaboration with other people, the fun that came with it, having that kind of bouncing off other people, being with similar people, like-minded people, really enabled me to grow as a person. That social element that came with it was really important to me, as well as developing those skills. And it just fitted me better than being sat in a classroom 9 to 5, if I'm honest. So it was a fantastic choice. It gave me some life skills, and then kind of second, third, fourth year of that apprenticeship was then based in the workplace with a 1-day release at college, and that was a real eye opener from the perspective of I spent 3 months in various different departments across the business, and if I then try to connect that to what I do today, kind of in my role, kind of leading the business units that I lead, there's lots of different functions. And kind of part of my role here is to kind of bring those bits and pieces, different departments together to collaborate. And I really liked, I guess, not necessarily being that real deep expert in anything. And the apprenticeship, I liked having that flavour across all different departments, from marketing to operations to finance to sales. And kind of that's where I find myself in today.
So do you think the apprenticeship programme and your experience of going through apprenticeship helped in your personal ability, the growth of your position where you are today?
Absolutely.
The grounding for your position?
Absolutely, yeah. So an appreciation of not how one department works, but how a business works. and the fundamental principles of everybody has a role to play, everybody's important as everybody else, and together, a successful business is only works when all departments are working together. And that apprenticeship kind of experience really kind of opened my eyes to that. Coming from school to that was it was a huge challenge, opportunity, but exciting as well.
And how do you think apprenticeships have actually evolved since your apprenticeship program? How do you think they've evolved over to today?
Yeah, I think they're a lot more broader, a lot more options. I think it was probably a little bit too long ago for me to remember mine, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, it was quite. They were quite. There wasn't so many options now. So there wasn't so many options back then. Now there's a lot more options, which I guess is fantastic. I wonder sometimes whether there's too many options. Yeah, sure. But certainly that kind of that ability to have that broader knowledge is still there and really, really important.
And would you recommend apprenticeships to other people? And if so, what's the best advice if someone's looking for apprenticeship that you would give someone now?
Okay, well, 200%. I would definitely advise it. It gives you that ability to learn, but also earn, and it also gives you so many life skills as well. And I guess it's about finding an area of interest for you.
Sure.
So and it doesn't have to be so definitive. I think sometimes when you study an academic discipline on its own, you become that. It's very in a box. Whereas an apprenticeship gives you far much broader opportunity. So if you go into one space and you don't really enjoy it, that's not the end of the world, because you're going to move on to a slightly different discipline and get exposure there, and then you really find your love and interest for that. And for me, that's the great opportunity. So I wouldn't be so worried about the actual total discipline. The company is really important. So ensuring that they've got experience, it's well structured, and they've got look at some of the people that already work in there, have gone through that apprenticeship route, and look at how their careers are developed. That's really definitely worth exploring. But it's about that broader experience.
And we have this thing at WorldSkills UK, so you can't be what you can't see. And you had the advantage. You just said that you had you're locally, you had engineering experience, you had an engineering operation going on, which kind of give you inspiration to go on. So we need that kind of inspiration. So that was your first take on apprenticeship, and your first insight into what an apprenticeship or an engineering career could be. That inspired you maybe to go. That was what inspired you.
Absolutely. But also, when I started my apprenticeship, I honestly had no idea that I'd end up in the world of automation.
No. You didn't know what that looked like.
I didn't know what that looked like. So if somebody asked me,
the initial attraction of what you thought you was going into was this engineering. And it was a local engineering organisation.
And the challenges it gave it, and then I got some exposure, obviously through the different. I did quite a lot of work in the development space, which actually meant we were building kind of test rigs, and then that's when I started to see kind of automation, and then I went through some other paths, and then kind of came back to that. So again, engineering is such a big discipline.
Sure, of course.
And it's just about trying things, testing things, finding out what you kind of really get excited about, and then let it evolve and let it find its own path from there.
And it's kind of like finding the right route for yourself in that, and maybe explaining to young people what the routes are into the different engineering opportunities. But we need the initial inspiring at the beginning, the kind of thing that gets you involved. If that be someone, your teacher, if someone in your family, is usually where you get to do someone locally to you see that. And then it's explaining what the career path may be, and the training would be for apprenticeship with vocational skills. Could be to actually get there. And you had a great career, having an engineering background, to where you are today in OMRON as well. Through that.
I think it's about just taking that first step. So I think I wouldn't get so hung up as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, whatever age, about this is where I want to be.
Sure. Just
take the step in, open your eyes, absorb, learn, and then somewhere in that you'll find your love, and then your career will follow that path. But as I said, I would recommend it to anybody. And it's not just about the learning; it's about the whole experience, and it really helps you to develop and evolve as a person as well. Not just.
And that engineering background is a great training, but there's some great transferable skills. You can go to many different industries once you've actually done that, and going forward to use. Okay, Sam, that's great. Thanks. Sam, also looking at the competitions that we work on together, we need to make sure these competitions are actually fit for purpose, and we can only do that if we have both education and industry involved, making sure that the right levels and the right standards are put in place, and it's through your technology and your knowledge from an industry point of view that we're able to do that. But also from a competitive point of view, it's really important that we get companies putting in competitors into the competition as well. Because unless we have competitors, we can't run the competitions, and that's obviously really important for them and the growth for those individuals. You see the growth from those competitors going on while they're doing their training and while they're doing experience those competitions, while they're benchmarking themselves regionally, nationally, and hopefully potentially internationally as well in the competitions. So why is it important for OMRON to participate in events like WorldSkills UK?
Okay, I think there's a couple of key reasons. I think if we go back to how our relationship kind of started, Andy, we were introduced by GAMBICA. So GAMBICA is a kind of a representation of all kind of automation providers here in the UK, and they play a key role in kind of bringing, in our world, our competitors, but together to have a louder voice. And that kind of initial introduction, because for industry, we know we have to do more to bridge that gap, both between all levels of education, but also then to inspire it. So I think the first and fundamental thing for OMRON is around our kind of core principles. So OMRON really is about improving society. That's kind of in our DNA, and that's not just about kind of producing products. Those products going into manufacturing and having an impact that way. We also believe that we should and we want to do more in terms of day-to-day society as well. So definitely this is kind of a vehicle to do that. It's also a really positive vehicle for our people. So we've had lots of very experienced engineers, very capable people, and they have a real desire to give back to the next generations. And we have a number of people supporting WorldSkills UK activities. We do lots of STEM activities, regular events with local skills, etc. And that's massive for our people, and it's a real big internal motivator for our people to really pass that knowledge on. And many people, have the outlook very much the same as me, and probably the same as when I was 16. They don't know what automation is. No. But actually, when you see a robot or when you see something really exciting happen, when we see that younger generation eyes light up and go, wow, there's nothing better than that. So they're kind of the key reasons why, and it's our principles, but also really people want to do it. But we know as industry as a whole, we need people like yourselves to kind of join some of those dots up and create an activity around it that's coordinated. And we want to attract the real talents for the future into our industry. So we need to step in as well.
And apart from the engineers, great engineers are from OMRON come and get involved in the competition, developing the competitions to make sure they're fit for purpose. What else do you contribute to the competitions? It may be technical ability and your skills of like research and development and what's going to be in the future, because we're looking at future skills as well and making sure that automation mechatronics is right for the future. So what else do you actually contribute to the competitions as well as the engineers that you supply very generously?
I guess what we try to do is kind of that kind of almost advisory role. So when you're looking at developing competitions, it's important for us to give our input in terms of the reality of what the industry is actually doing. So there's loads of buzzwords about Industry 4, now Industry 5, AI, robotics, which are great. But what do they actually mean? What does that actually mean to industry? And often when you see it in kind of more of a external marketing PR piece, sometimes that there can be a certain message there, but we also need to really prepare people for what the actual reality is. So what does AI actually mean to a manufacturing facility, and kind of how do you put the building blocks together in terms of products and actual hardware and software to actually make that reality and get the benefit of what AI could bring to manufacturing. So we try to offer our experience, our advice of what's happening today, and as you say, importantly, where we think things are going to go in the future, 5, 10 years, and how we see those kind of needs developing. So, I guess the guys who are coming through the competition through WorldSkills UK today are going to be in industry in 5 to 10 years, and that's what we got to prepare them for, not what industry was doing 10 years ago. So it's important that we kind of help and guide that process.
And it's really important when we launched automation competition, we can only do it with the support from OMRON coming on to become an investment partner to do that, which leads on to the mechatronics kind of competition, which is a little bit more stringent than the automation, but automation is a good step into
Yep.
what we're actually doing. And we've managed to, since then, also launch Industry 4.0
Yep.
and making sure, because we're looking at what's in the 5 years' time and what young people are going to be doing in 5 years' time, not
Yep.
just what's needed now, but we've also got an eye on what's the future and what's the pipeline and how education and industry work together, what's the standard of those skills
Yep.
going forward. So you've really helped us take us on that journey and
Yep.
take us to that next step. Why did OMRON decide to actually sponsor WorldSkills UK?
I think the main driver for us is finding a partner that has the same beliefs first and foremost, and as a standalone business, I'm a big believer that you can only have so much impact.
Yeah.
So actually trying to contribute to having a small part in something a lot bigger enables us to have a far bigger impact. And the amount of people that you're kind of touching through your competitions is a far bigger reach than what we could ever achieve on our own. We do lots of activities locally with local skills, which is local schools, which is fantastic. Yeah. But working and collaborating with WorldSkills UK just makes that reach far bigger, and we get a far bigger impact and hopefully a positive impact and inspire more engineers for the future. Okay, Andy, I just wanted to say a big thank you for joining us today. Real positive discussion. I think before this conversation, we both know we shared that passion of inspiring, but it's great to try to share that to a wider audience. Yeah. Was there any kind of closing comments you'd kind of like to share?
Yeah, I think the message, my passion about this and why I come into WorldSkills is my children looking what they're going to do for their careers for the future. And kind of like, I didn't think, I've come from an engineering and technology background, from a media side, not from a professional side. But I was always kind of thinking, not enough people know about these different fields, and we have this thing, so you can't be what you can't see. Mm-hmm. So we want to show enough, diverse into the sector, enough females, enough ethnic minorities are coming into the sector. There's a whole growth that you can actually come into engineering technology and right across the UK. And because who knows about automation and mechatronics? Mm-hmm. I think it's really important that we kind of show as an industry and as from the government and from an education point of view, we're all going out there and showing what automation and mechatronics is and what engineering is overall, and then what part play automation and mechatronics plays with that. To inspire more people to understand what career path and show more career paths that are out there, to inspire young people to go into this industry, because there's still, and we've had a massive skill shortage for a long period of time, and we need to keep addressing that and seeing what we can do about that. So my passion about it is showing enough young people about what they might want to do in the future and make an informed choice about what great career they can have in apprenticeships, in vocational skills out there. And it's showing profiles such as yourself, Sam, of what you can actually do with an apprenticeship, with a vocational skill, qualification, what confidence that brings you, and what great journey you can have with that with your career.
Yeah, absolutely, and I share those thoughts. I think that diversity piece is so important. And a short clip of a kind of a story from one of our STEM activities here that we held here was some of the feedback we had from a young female student was the leading comment was, now I know engineering's cool. I want to do it in the future.
Brilliant.
And there's nothing more empowering and positive feedback they can have, and it just makes all the activities that we do with WorldSkills UK and with STEM just so worth it. When you get those messages back. So thanks for your time, Andy. Great to talk to you.
Thanks very much.
Talk soon.
Cheers, Sam.